September the 8th, 2021. Guys, you're looking at the 5-day outlook from the National Hurricane Center. Now, you've got Hurricane Larry still pumping 115 mile per hour winds, traveling at 10 miles an hour. Pressure's 966 millibars. Still pretty much a straight up impact into the St. John area. You also have a system over here is 20% chance of development over the next few days. But one thing about this one, if you notice, inside the yellow area here are the Cabo Verde Islands, and usually the hurricanes, not always, but usually if the hurricane comes out that far north off the African coast, it will move up into the North Atlantic, because usually they will come out below here, and if you remember the reports, it'll be a couple hundred miles south of the Cabo Verde Islands and all of that. But this is the 8 p.m. report this morning. We have a 50% chance now of development of a cyclone or subtropical cyclone on the system. It is very close to the Louisiana shore, but it still looks like it's going to skirt up through that area, bring some rain along the entire coast, and move out into the Atlantic and possibly reform. My friends down into Mobile, Alabama, Perdido Key, Pensacola, along that area, down to Fort Walton, you're starting to get rain now from it, just the outer sections of the storm. But they're saying a disorganized cloudiness and a few thunderstorms over the central and eastern Gulf are associated with a surface trough and an upper level disturbance. The system is expected to move northeastward over the northeastern Gulf of Mexico later today. Upper level winds could become slightly more favorable to support this. Now, that means the wind shear is going to slow down that we've been seeing going from left to right or blowing from west to east. It says upper level winds again could become more favorable to support some tropical or subtropical development as the system nears the northern Gulf Coast tonight or early Thursday. The disturbance is then expected to cross the southeastern U.S., and some additional development would be possible after it emerges off the southeastern United States coast late this week. Regardless of development, areas of heavy rain will be possible across portions of the Florida Panhandle and southern Georgia through Thursday, with localized flooding possible. Also, and they usually don't mention this, but the possibility of tornadoes coming ashore in this heat is very high. We saw two unusual ones, one in Pennsylvania, one up in New York, as Ida's remains, subtropical remains, went offshore and then came back in on them. So you can't ever downplay one of these storms. Now, it's probably not going to be a Category 1 hurricane at all, but because it's not moving that fast, a lot of rain with it, and the winds, you're going to have to be very close, pay very close attention to it. Now, these are the Gulf of Mexico satellite images this morning. Center of circulation seems to be right here south, slightly southeast of the mouth of the Mississippi River. My friends along the Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida coast, you're probably starting to feel some of the rains now. And that's just going to continue for the next few days as this thing gets on out of here. So boating interests, be very aware of this, because I don't care if it's a subtropical storm or a tropical storm. I've been caught in a sailboat in a tropical storm, 20-foot seas for 2 days. After 5 days leaving Mississippi out in front of the Berry Islands and taking 2 days inside Mobile Bay behind the big lighthouse there, guys, to try to weather the storm out. I got tired of doing that, went back out front a few miles and set my compass. You couldn't see. I set my compass at, I think it was like 110 degrees east or something. And what it actually wasn't, the radio direction finders is what we had then instead of GPSs. And you would turn the antenna on the top of the radio until your signal was the strongest. So we were in a fog, 20-foot waves, 2 days, couldn't see past the front of the boat, huge waves coming over the sides and over the front. But we tuned in to what's called TK 101 down in Pensacola. It's a rock and roll station, and we kept that antenna, even though we couldn't see, we kept it tuned into that, and then it brought us right into the pass between Fort McRae and Fort Pickens. And guys, that's the entrance from the Gulf into the Pensacola Bay area. So then we ended up a day later down in Fort Walton, and that was our destination. So these things can be treacherous if you're caught off guard in a boat. Don't do that. It's a good day to stay ashore, especially small craft. I'm sure small craft advisories will be issued for the area. But this is what we're dealing with, and we'll do a full update later on in the afternoon. We'll include the Atlantic, but right now the path of Larry is still to the right or to the east of Bermuda and headed towards St. John's. Now, about 30 minutes ago, they issued new tracking models for the system in the Gulf. They're calling it Invest 91L. Everything's pretty much staying in this cone that the National Hurricane Center has had, but notice that the Navy model turns here in southwest Georgia and comes into the central part of the eastern side of Alabama. We're going to watch it. Navy model is pretty accurate. Now, what's happened, though, yesterday the Navy model had not put its input into the models, and today the Canadian model has taken its spaghetti model out. So it's kind of a confusing storm for all involved, for us, the National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center. Just not sure what this is going to do, but it looks like it's going to follow this trail across Jacksonville, just depending on the high pressure system. Now, as we look at the National Weather Service, they did a few changes here. You've got special marine warnings. This is down around the Big Bend in Florida, in this area right here. You also have small craft advisories all the way around that. So what they're doing, as we see the direction of the storm moving in this direction, that's where they're more concerned about, again, marine warnings, small craft advisories. If this thing picks up to a tropical storm, you could start seeing more warnings. And we are getting gale warnings mixed in with this. So they're projecting that to happen. Also, South Louisiana, you're still in this heat advisory. And I know that there's probably 500,000 that still don't have power yet. But guys, we're watching it. You watch it. Watch for an afternoon update. Be safe.